The information discussed in this PILCast episode are merely opinions and do not constitute formal policy or legal guidance of any kind.
Hello, and welcome to another PILCast, the video blog where we talk about important procurement innovation concepts in 10 minutes or less. We guarantee it. I'm Monica Taylor with the Department of Homeland Security's Procurement Innovation Lab, also known as the PIL.
And I'm Scott Simpson, also with the PIL.
All right, so in this PILCast episode, we really want to highlight ways to provide some best practices in which you can structure invoicing when soliciting and awarding contracts that use an Agile methodology. Now, invoicing isn't always complicated under most contracts. However, sometimes in an Agile environment, it may require a tailored approach. Now, we won't dive into the different Agile methodologies in this PILCast, but we will really highlight some solicitation language that you can tailor for your next Agile contract that uses Scrum teams.
You know, Monica, we don't often even think about invoicing until after the award has been made. There's no requirement, of course, to structure invoicing the same for every contract, and you really should tailor the invoicing structure and the frequency to meet the specific needs of that specific requirement.
That's really right, Scott. And this is especially important when awarding contracts that use that Agile methodology. And so in a traditional firm fixed price environment, we may simply, if it's a 12-month contract, maybe just divide it by 12, right? One monthly invoice, divide that total contract price by 12, and vendors invoice monthly. But often the government has delays with onboarding and other critical conditions occurring before a vendor can actually get access to the environment. And so that can result in a project starting later than what it was planned. And these delays can actually interrupt the start of what we call Sprint 1, or result in the government paying a significant amount for resources or work that just haven't started yet.
Yep, we don't want to be paying for things that we don't have. And that's why we highly recommend that you consider obtaining and maybe even evaluating a vendor's proposed invoicing schedule as part of their submission to you. And when awarding a firm fixed price or a labor hour type Agile contract, you can structure the invoicing to best meet the needs of the government and the contractor's Agile methodology, blending those two requirements together.
And so Scrum is one of the most widely used Agile methodologies within the federal government. And so a prescriptive framework, Scrum really excels at managing projects with an iterative and incremental manner. So through that sprint. And so Scrum is that lightweight framework that really helps people, teams, really generate value through adaptive solutions for complex problems.
And when you're using the Scrum method in your procurement, it is super important to document and understand both the definition of ready, that is like when you're ready to start, and the definition of done for each sprint. And those definitions, they're going to change over time. They're going to improve as the project matures and as lessons learned and information are digested by both the government and the Agile contractor.
And we have to really consider transition time. So this often results in a project kickoff and much needed time before the government is truly ready for Sprint 1 to begin. So how does the contractor bill when the government isn't fully ready for Sprint 1, but the vendor has been working and preparing for that Sprint 1, right? So how do we make sure that we get something of value and receiving value other than just time expended with each invoice submitted? So we're going to actually share some practical language to utilize on your next solicitation.
You can consider adding language similar to what you see on the screen, and I'll read it. This is a firm fixed priced contract. The contractor shall submit pricing for the base period of X amount of 2-week sprints or iterations and 2 option years. The contractor shall also include a separately priced transition in CLIN. This shall include the price for transition in activities, sprint planning, sprint discovery, and any other related activities in preparation of ready for Sprint 1. This amount will be billed upon the completion of all transition-in activities and Sprint 1 ready. The government intends to allow the contractor to bill an equal amount for each sprint on a monthly basis, i.e. every 2 sprints, throughout the life of the contract. The contractor shall annotate any exceptions or assumptions within its pricing proposal.
Some really good, valuable language to add. Now, what if a transition-in period isn't needed and all the resources are ready to go on the contract performance start date? But maybe you just need a little time to plan and prepare for Sprint 1. Let's say you need a Sprint 0. You can consider adding similar language to what Scott just read, but state that the contractor shall also include a separately priced Sprint Discovery or Planning CLIN, that's Sprint 0. Now, there is not a Sprint 0 in the official Scrum Guide, but this is very helpful in a government environment when additional time may be needed to appropriately plan for Sprint 1. So you could simply call it Sprint Discovery Initial Planning Phase.
And if you're ready for Sprint 1 on the first day, then you don't even need transition in time. Simply state that within your solicitation and allow contractors to take any exceptions to an equal amount for each sprint on a monthly basis.
So you have lots of flexibility when structuring invoicing for contracts using an Agile methodology. You could even retain a certain amount for the final invoice. What if people have even considered that? The choice of words and structure is yours. Ultimately, to help mitigate performance risks and truly set expectations, the government has to consider the preparation for the first sprint, i.e. setting up the development environment, setting up access, refining the definition of start and done, right? Gathering and refining first backlog items. If onboarding will take 3 months, that needs to be accounted for in the schedule. And these things are important to discuss prior to award.
Right. And obtaining a price proposal that contains a price per sprint will definitely allow for easy billing. But when it's not clear when Sprint 1 will begin, or if in the past there have been constant issues once sprints have started, then it's important for the entire procurement team to discuss these things prior to the award. Planning, right? Use some planning. That's the way you can structure the invoicing based on the existing environment and those lessons learned.
All right. Well, that's all, folks. Thanks for joining us today. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe to this video and our channel.
And please be sure to join us at the next GSA FAST conference, which is being held May 16th through 18th, 2023. The link is going to be in the comments below.
All right. We'll see you on our next PILCast episode.